You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the May 16th meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by looking at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety to order the 16th day of May, 2022. Present are Mayor Dwayne Perry. Mr. Michael Vincent will be appearing electronically, and I am appearing Virginia Keating. We have a quorum. Approval of the minutes of the regular hybrid Zoom meeting of April 18th, 2022. Mike, you need to turn your camera on.
Yep, it's working on it now. All right. You can hear me though?
Yes.
Okay.
Under Indiana law and our policy, he's got to be seen and heard to vote. So if he can participate, but he can't vote if he can't be seen.
I don't anticipate any problems. We have a quorum.
Well, why don't I just continue with the approval of the minutes of the regular Zoom meeting of April 18th and the regular Zoom meeting of May 2nd, 2022. Are there any corrections or additions?
Motion to approve, Madam Chair.
I'll second that motion. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent, we're
Aye.
voting on minutes.
There he is. All right.
Yeah. Mr. Vincent, we're
hearing-
voting on the minutes. I don't know if he
I heard,
understands.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Are you voting on the minutes?
I am.
Okay. And Chair votes aye as well. Sorry for this.
No, sorry, it took a few minutes to get settings in.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the entertainment agreement request. Terry Greetham, Special Event Director, is requesting the following entertainment agreements to be approved to perform during the Singing Sands Sculpting Festival at certain times from June 3rd through June 5th. And those entities are Hurricane Reggae Band, Sofa King Revolution, Derek Caruso and Blues Fuse, Audios Pantaloons, Invisible Cartoons, Together Band, Cadillac Starship, and Dave Wiant.
Yes, thank you. Terry Greetham, Director of Special Events. So this is almost the complete lineup for the Singing Sand Sculpting Festival. We have a good variety of bands that will start playing Friday evening and then play Friday evening and then Saturday all day into the evening and Sunday until 7 o'clock.
Thank you. Are any public comments? Any board comments?
None here.
Then I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll
Oh, I'm
second.
sorry, Michael.
No, you're good. I'll second.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. The next item on the agenda is a sponsorship agreement, an agreement between the Board of Public Works and Safety and LaPorte Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for sponsorship at the Singing Sands Sculpting Festival held June 3rd through 5th, 2022 at Washington Park. And the sponsorship level is $2,500.
Yes, this is a custom package that we put together for LaPorte Chrysler. They're going to be displaying 4 of their custom built high-rise Jeeps at the festival.
Is there any public comment? Any board comment?
I would like to say just this, Madam Chair, that this is not the first time we did this. Years ago, it was done after the city refused to pay for the fireworks. And the new Chrysler dealership at that time offered to foot the cost of the fireworks if we would allow him to display, and we did. So this is nice, but we've been down this road before. It
Thank you
worked
for-
out well. Thank you.
Thank you for that explanation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a vendor agreement request. Terry Greetham, Special Event Director, is requesting approval for the following Singing Sands Sculpting Festival vendors to participate and sell their goods at the festival starting June 3rd through June 5th, 2022 at Washington Park. And those entities are Abigail Harmon, House of Sticks and Stones, Bridget Weaver, The Elegant Hippie, William Holloway, Scooters Barbecue, Kay Harmon, Elegant Glass Designs, and Sam Von Abermold.
Yes, so these are just, 4 of these are merchandise and craft vendors. And of course, one of them, Scooters Barbecue, is a food vendor.
Thank you. Are there any public comments? Any board comments?
I'm just glad you said that list instead of me.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the opening of bids for surplus buses. There are 3 2013 Freightliner, Legacy number 40, Legacy number 42, and Legacy number 44, and 2 Freightliners, Legacy number 48 and Legacy number 50. Do I have a motion to close the bids?
Is there any member of the public that would like to submit a bid at this time? If not, it would be appropriate then at this time to make that motion.
Motion to close the bids.
Support.
And second.
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
your votes aye as well.
We have received 3 sealed bids. The first is from Jason Stimley. He is bidding on the 2015 Freightliner Glavel Legacy Bus number 48. The bid price is $3,900. He's also bidding on the 2015 Freightliner Glavel Legacy Bus number 50 with a bid price of $3,900. The second is from a James Trokey. He is bidding on the 2015 Freightliner Glavel Legacy Bus number 48 with a bid of $3,600. And the third is from a Robert I know I'm going to butcher this. Enamorado. He is bidding on the 2015 Freightliner Glavel Legacy Bus number 50 in the amount of $3,700. He's also bidding on the 2015 Freightliner Glavel Legacy Bus number 48 in the amount of $3,700. And he's bidding on the 2013 Freightliner Glavel Legacy Bus number 40 in the amount of $3,700. And that is it, Madam President.
Thank you. Then I'll entertain a motion to ask that these bids be reviewed by Attorney LePage Stallbrink and Robin Tillman, and to return at the next meeting with their recommendation.
I will make that motion, Madam Chair, that the bids be reviewed. Just so I've got the buses right, there were bids on the 2013 Legacy bus number 40, 2015 Legacy number 48, and 2015 Legacy 50, that those bus bids be reviewed.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. The next item on the agenda is the application for a vendor's license. Jonathan Flores, Restoration Builder Incorporated, is requesting a vendor peddler's license to go door to door to solicit business for his contracting business, Restoration Builders Incorporated. Someone here to address this? Please state your name and address.
Jonathan Flores, address 1022 Richard Avenue.
Thank you. Why don't you explain what you're asking?
Permission to go, I have salesmen go house to house, door to door to sell restoration services, including roofing, siding, windows, doors, just providing to see if there's any like hail damage and all that.
Okay. Amber, have you looked this over?
I have, everything in the application looks in order.
Is there any public comment or board comment?
I guess just a question. When you go door to door, sir, are you going to leave something hanging on the doorknob? Or are you going to knock on the door with?
Most likely they just knock. If anybody answers, they're there. If not, they just move on. Yeah. No dropping off material.
No what?
No dropping off material or
No
leaving
drop-offs.
a flyer.
Do I have a motion?
I'm not gonna make a motion. I don't like knocking on doors. Sorry. It's up
Do I
to
hear a
Michael.
motion?
No, I agree with the mayor on this, with the knocking on doors, with everything that's going on now with
I don't
scams
think it's
and
safe.
unsure things with the public. I think just adding one more worry into people's lives, I don't like it.
Understandable.
I don't have a problem with you marketing, sir. this is getting to be a wacky world we live in. And I
Understood.
don't want you to be hurt. There's no motion. It
You need
fails.
a motion to deny them.
Okay. No hard feelings. Motion to deny.
Understood.
I'll second.
Let's talk after the meeting.
Chair votes to deny as well. Call for the vote, Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
As I said, I'll vote nay as well.
Thank you.
Sorry. Next item on the agenda is the retirement of City NIPSCO Lights. Brad Minnick, Premier Engineers Limited, is requesting on behalf of Walsh Herzog to retire 11 light poles for the double track project. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Brad Minnick, Premier Engineers, 5281 Fountain Drive, Unit H, Crown Point. As you know, this is a fluid project. Had opportunity to look at these proposed light retirements last week with NICD staff, and they're all on 11th Street, and they all will be able to remain intact. So I'd like to rescind the request to retire them. So we're going to be able to keep them lit and keep them in place after the track
Okay.
is constructed.
Are there any public comments? Ward, do you have any comments?
I have a question for Mr. Minnick. 2 Saturdays ago, I went down and walked the area from Franklin Street to Spring Street along the tracks because I wanted to see what the impact was on the houses on both sides, because now they're limited to rear access via alleys. And I saw two street lights that were I consider dangerously close to construction, that they were gonna, things get bumped and next thing you know, they're laying undersized, or they're broke. So I immediately Monday gave instructions to Sean Smith to Marcus Electric to take them down for us. And before it could happen, one of them was damaged, knocked down and the globe broken. So these being retired are not being retired, are they're going to be taken down and stored till after the track is through and it's time to put them back up.
These are
try to leave them in place during construction.
These are the Cobra head streetlights on power poles on 10th Street. So they're not,
Oh, on the NIPSCO poles?
they're on either NIPSCO or NICTI poles. So,
Wood poles.
right,
No
So,
problem. I
yeah,
have
so
no problem with those.
they're not in conflict.
Okay,
As opposed to the other ones that I came to the board with. So they're going to be able to stay in place.
okay, thank you. I was a little bit concerned about which was which. Okay,
Oh.
thank you.
Understood.
So basically, you're saying they're staying in place. Are you withdrawing your petition?
I
In other
am.
words?
I am.
Okay, all
Yep.
right.
We walked through the site Wednesday, I think, of last week, and looked at the poles individually with NICTI staff to see, initially they were thought to be in conflict, but as this project moves forward, week by week, it was identified that they could stay in place without impacting the project.
Thank you. And we don't need any motion or vote on those.
No, not if it's being withdrawn.
Next item on the agenda is the energizing of a lighting cabinet request. Brad Minnick, Premier Engineering Limited, is requesting to energize 4 street lighting controller cabinets and 1 traffic signal along 11th Street in response to NICD double track project.
Okay, so I want to keep this request before the board. So again, same situation, that as the project evolves, things get disconnected and need reconnected. So my question here, I didn't want to just sign off on behalf of the city for new lighting bills to come to the city without bringing it before the board. So if I come before you guys to request a disconnect, it would make sense that I would come to you guys to request a connection. So there are, as you said, 4 lighting controllers that control streetlights, all on 11th Street. And then there's also a traffic signal controller that needs to be hooked up as part of the equipment that's going away, and it has to be tied into new equipment. So
Are there any questions from the board?
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a question. Mr. Minnick, a while ago, I was involved in a conversation about streetlight controllers, something on the order of the cell phones where there's new technology and we have old technology. And if we don't update these controllers, our streetlights that are totally controlled by the atomic clock, so that regardless of the time of year, the daylight saving time, whatever, they turn on and off at the right time. Are these affected by that lack of technology that we're going to have to update them?
I've requested a quote from Hawk Lighting that's doing the electrical work for NICTI in Michigan City to synchronize the existing lights with the new lights. So that's separate from this request.
Oh, it's separate.
Right.
But is that is that what I was referring to?
What's that?
Is that what I was referring to? There's more modern, there's a necessary technology upgrade?
That's correct.
Okay.
There has to be an interlink added, but I haven't received that price yet from Hawk.
That'll be a
so
different item. Okay.
It'll be a different item.
Thank
yeah.
you, sir.
Mr. Benson, do you have any questions?
No, I make a motion, we approve.
Support?
Okay. Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Benson,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. The next item on the agenda is the amendment of LPA Consulting contract request. Brad Minnick, Premier Engineer Limited, is requesting to amend the LTD consulting contract between the City of Michigan City and Premier Engineering Limited for the Michigan City Singing Sands Trail Phase 1 construction inspection services. Please explain what you're asking here.
Okay, so the Singing Sands Phase 1, which runs from the Porter LaPorte County line over towards City Hall, had a substantial completion date of the fall of 2020. And presently it's still not complete. They have some punch list items to do, as well as some recall work to do. They're waiting on parts. So in the last year and a half, I've continued to do the construction inspection reports required by NDOT and the site visits required by NDOT, because the contract is still active. So as such, in the last year and a half, I've burned through the fee proposal that I gave in January 2018 to the city, and I'm asking for an extension of that.
Okay, and what is the amount you're asking?
It's $45,000, but it's built on a time and materials basis. So if I don't use all that, it's just billed by the hour. It's not billed as a lump sum.
I understand. Any board comments?
None here.
Mike, any
No.
comment?
Make a motion, we approve.
Support.
And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
your votes aye as well. Thank you, Brad. The next item on the agenda is a request to purchase city-owned property. Michael Ainsworth, 1204 West 7th Street, is requesting to purchase city-owned property parcel number 46-01-30-485-003.000-022 located on 7th Street.
Morning, my name is Mike Ainsworth. I reside at 1204 West 7th Street in Michigan
Thank you,
City.
Mr. Vincent.
Thank you.
Why don't you go ahead and explain?
Okay, so I have some visuals here. The first page shows where the lot is in the city. It's on the west side, for reference, Willard Avenue is right down the middle of the page, and Prison's on the lower left, Outlet Mall's on the upper right-hand side. Next page is the actual picture of the lot. It's a vacant lot that the city owns, has owned for almost 20 years now. And the next page is a closer view of the subject lot outlined in black there. And the lots outlined in other colors are other parcels that I own in this neighborhood. And as you can see, this lot would nicely connect the other properties that I own on West 7th Street and Lincoln Avenue. If you sell me the parcel, you won't have to send this guy out to mow it all the time. You'll start collecting taxes as opposed to using city money to maintain the property. They would add to my property in the area. As far as the cost, I'm not sure how to value this property. I mean, that's the last page talked about. The Michigan Township assessment is kind of all over the map. They were last year it was assessed at $10,000. This year it was $4,000. The year before that was $3,500. So I'm not sure. I mean, that's kind of a ballpark range. At the bottom page of the page, I list out the similar vacant lots that I have purchased over the last few years and the amounts that I paid for those. So based on all this, I propose that we set a price of $3,000 to sell this property.
Amber, why don't you go ahead and explain the process?
Sure. When there's a request in front of the Board of Works, what the Board of Works does is they will refer it to my office. What I'll do is I will check with all the various city departments to see if they object or they are in favor of selling it. Then I'll provide the feedback to the board. At that time, if the request is favorable, then I have to look at what Indiana law governs the sale of this. So we're not at liberty just to accept an offer. We'd have to go under whatever requirements Indiana law says. But looking at this cursory, if the board would approve it, it looks like he is an adjacent owner. And it does look like the assessment is under a $15,000 threshold. So we could offer it to just the adjacent landowners. But I will double check with all the departments.
Thank you for that explanation. Are there any board questions?
None here.
No.
That cycle time should be before our next meeting, would you say? Okay, thank you.
Then do I have a motion to refer to the legal department?
Motion to refer.
Second.
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much.
Thank
We'll
you.
bring this back at our next meeting. Next item on the agenda is an alley closure request. Tyler Gonder, Bricks Tasting Room, 111 West 6th Street, is requesting to close 100 feet of the alley next to his building on June 4th, 2022 at 8 a.m. through June 6th, 2022 at 12 p.m. for an event. Would you state your name and address, please?
Tyler Gonder, 910 South Carroll Ave.
Thank you. Explain what your request is.
The property, which is the alleyway directly adjacent to Bricks Tasting Rooms, private parking spots, and shared with the tenants in front of us on Franklin Street. We're requesting to take part of our tent because it's a big 40 by 40 for a private event that will extend out into the alleyway. So we're requesting to close that alleyway off temporarily for the event.
Okay. I don't know if the police department's had a chance. I see some.
I've spoken with both departments.
Good morning, Sergeant Steve Forkman, Michigan City Police Department. I spoke with Captain Lineski. He's on vacation this week, so he gave me his notes reference to this matter. He spoke with Fire Chief Reback about it as well. And neither the police department or the fire department have any opposition to closing the alley for this event.
Thank you for your input. Is there any public comment? Board comment?
None here.
No.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
In second.
We then call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well.
I was just gonna say that. I didn't see it
Hey,
in
Gail.
here.
Eric Camel, St. Joe Club, has insurance already on file for his catering side of stuff over there at the club, on file with the city, is what he told me to tell you guys.
We need
I
bricks
will
as
give
well.
you, yeah,
We need bricks as well. Name
Oh,
of
I
the city
gotcha.
as additional. insurance.
gotcha, no
Mhm.
problem.
So you're using St. Joe's.
Catering permit for that side of it, yeah.
But we
want
need the
that?
requesters.
Right.
Yeah.
I see, okay,
When do
no
we need
problem.
that insurance by?
Well, the event is June 4th, so as
I'll
soon as
have it by
possible.
the end of the
Yep,
day.
That's great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time.
Next item on the agenda is a highway safety concern. James Hutter, treasurer of Commerce Square Condo Association, is requesting a barrier to be placed at the corner of US 12, Highway 35 and Spring Street due to incidences of vehicles jumping the curb causing serious property damage and safety hazard to the Commerce Square occupants. Is there someone here to talk to us about this?
Again, Sergeant Steve Forker, Michigan City Police Department. Again, in speaking with Captain Lineski, he recommended, he stated he spoke with Mr. Hutter and requested that this be forwarded to the traffic division and the acting city engineer for a recommendation to be made at the next Board of Works meeting.
Thank you. Are there any public comments? Any board comments?
None here, ma'am.
Okay, then do I hear a motion to refer?
I'll make a motion to refer to traffic division
Support.
And to engineering?
and engineering for recommendation. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is the CSX crossing concerns. Dave Hack, 1013 Gardena Street is requesting that the CSX crossing at Tilden Avenue be reopened with signage and requesting an update plan regarding this crossing. Mr. Hack, with us today? Mayor, I think that you,
I'm ecstatic, Madam Chair.
I think you're.
They mobilized last week. They're gonna, I looked at it myself over the weekend. They've already made cuts to remove the asphalt apron. So it's finally gonna get done. Both Tilden and Ohio.
Thank you. My understanding is that there's a crew out on Ohio Street. Is that correct, Mayor?
They have some equipment staged on Ohio. All they have at Tilden is the materials, a new section of track to put in. But I didn't do the same level of observation on Ohio that I did on Tilden. And the reason I did that is because there's just so many street closures that are going to happen in the next month and a half due to NDOT installing 2 box culverts across 212, these CSX crossings in the double tracks. We got to get Tilden open right now. That's the one reason I looked at that one. I will look at Ohio Street today and advise at
Okay.
our next meeting.
And one last question, if you have the answer, how long is this going to be before?
I don't have the answer to that, Madam Chair.
Thank you. At least they're working on it. Thank you. Good job. The next item on the agenda is a street closure request. Alan Shepherdson Jr., commander of the American Legion Post 37, is requesting to have their annual Memorial Day Parade on May 30th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., closing Patina Parkway to Franklin Street down to Decatur Street to Greenwood Cemetery entrance. Is there anybody here to address this? Sergeant Forker.
Again, Sergeant Forker, Michigan City Police Department. Again, this is an annual request and we would recommend approval.
Are there any board comments?
None here, ma'am.
Then I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve.
Support.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
your votes aye as well. The next item on the agenda is the opening of bids for a 3-year lease program for 11 Dodge Durangos police pursuit packages and 1 Dodge Ram 1500 police pursuit package. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to submit a bid? Hearing none, then do I hear a motion to close the bids?
Make a motion to close the bids.
Second.
And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well.
Oh, we've received 1 bid. It's from Laporte Chrysler, Inc. The price to lease 1 new Dodge Durango for 3 years is $21,000. $60. The price for one Dodge Ram 1500 for 3 years is $20,808. The whole total net price, if we do all 12 vehicles, which consist of the Charger and the Ram for 3 years, is $252,468.
It was 252.8.
252,468.00.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have a motion to refer this to the legal department and to the Michigan City Police Department for review?
So moved. I'll make the motion.
Support.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. The next item on the agenda is the HDD policy amendment request. Brad Minnick, Premier Engineering Limited, and acting city engineers requesting to amend the city's HDD policy regarding fees and distribution application. Brad, go ahead.
Good morning. Just did a quick review of HDD permits. We handle them in other cities for other municipalities, and just given the fact that so many departments from Michigan City touch the permit and then also archive the information. On average, it's about $100 per permit, depending on the length of run that they're installing. So I would just encourage Michigan City to go with my recommendation for the proposed increase in fees. And the last exhibit that I submitted did a comparison of the current fee structure versus a proposed. I've also received feedback from a department head that suggested the increase in fees might encourage contractors to go to an open cut, which is a more invasive installation because you have future settlement on the highways and roads with an open cut. You're trenching through. Unfortunately, I don't have experience with that fee structure for the city to compare it to. So in an effort possibly as a compromise, we could put a cap on the fee. So if it was a long installation, we could cap the fees at say $1,500 or something of that nature. Would be more commensurate with the level of effort that the city's putting in to review and archive the information for the permits. So and hopefully still deter contractors from going to an open cut method to install.
Are there any department heads here that wanted to address this? Amber, go ahead.
You know, I've spoken to our IT, sanitary district, water. They've all provided feedback, and when the permits were originally established with the fee, I think the goal was to do something modest so that development wasn't hampered. I know Andy Mechanic expressed some concerns with me if we increase the lineal foot per the permit, about how that very well could hamper economic development. He did suggest, though, increasing the inspection fee for the two routine inspections, which are the opening and the closing. He thought that that was low, especially since we are basically hiring a third party to come and inspect, since we don't have an engineer on staff. But at this point, what I would do is I might refer it back to the various departments to give a little bit more feedback on this. You know, especially planning. I haven't had the opportunity to speak to Skylar York on this to see if he has any thoughts or concerns on it.
Thank you. Is there any board comment?
Just a question and maybe a comment. Mr. Minnick, do you feel that time is of the essence processing this?
Well, we want to get it right. So if we want to table it, and it takes a little bit more time to get it right, I
Yeah,
understand
just
that,
probably one more meeting,
right?
but I
That's reasonable.
agree with a lot of what's said. And as far as the inspection, you're the guy. I mean, we are retaining Primera. We do not technically have a city engineer at this moment, which is why we're asking you to do a lot of these functions.
Sure.
So that should not be considered a holdup. But yeah, if you would, I'll make a motion table one meeting.
And to refer to the city departments and perhaps for them to meet with Brad.
Yes,
Discuss this.
yes, please.
I'll second.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. The next item on the agenda is the payroll docket for May 6, 2022, the city payroll of $616,196. And the claims docket of May 2nd, 2022, municipal claims of $1,788,932, CDBG, Community Development Block Grant of $79.75, Health Life Insurance Fund of $244,870.20, Workers' Comp Trust, $25,123.39, Greenwood Cemetery Custodial Permanent Maintenance of $2,955.13, Swan Lake Cemetery of $1,439.76, the Cemetery Extension Fund of $1,782.20, the Cemetery Merchandise and Commission Fund of $7,102.08, and the Ohio Street Project of $1,250 for a total claims under the claims docket of $2,073,502.83. And I need a motion to approve both the claims docket and the payroll docket.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the payroll docket in the amount of $616,100.96 and the claims docket with the bottom line total of $2,073,502.83.
Thank you.
I'll second.
And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Moving on now to the unfinished business pending items list. The first item on the agenda, although it says it's set for June 6th, let's discuss it today. John Kelly, Newcomb Uplift and Restore CDC is requesting to purchase the old police annex station building and property it resides on at 204 Willard Avenue, parcel number 46-01-29-35-30-40-0000-22. Amber, would you give us a status on this, please?
So Mr. Newcomb has provided me with all of his incorporation documentation that he has filed with the state of Indiana, making his corporate entity a formal 501c3. Where I'm at with it is I really need Skylar York on this with me because there's a lot of detail that goes into this, and he is not here, and I've not been able to get a hold of him because he has been I don't know, on vacation or whatever.
I believe he'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. So I think it's appropriate to keep it on for June 6th.
Thank you. And we'll just leave that as it is for June 6th. The next item, Michael Vincent is requesting the use of an alternate detour when Franklin Bridge is not in service. Mayor, you were going to indicate today what your plan is on this.
I dropped the ball. I'm sorry. Too many other detours.
Okay, well, let's just keep this on for the next meeting.
One more time,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
The obvious detour, I guess, would be Center Street up to the east side of Fetters Alley.
Okay. Well, there's no harm
Let
in
me take
keeping it
a
on.
hard
for
look at
another
it.
few weeks. Yeah. Okay, moving on, Michael Vincent, Vice President's concerns were about the trash and blockades on a list that had been provided.
Yeah, that was on Naha Street.
Mhm.
One of the residents wanted to purchase vacant land property that's city owned. A lot of trespassing, a lot of garbage, a lot of using that as a shortcut detour through a dead end street, and city department was going to look at it to see if there was something they could do to ease some of that vandalism, I'll call it, pain.
Okay. Has anything been done on that? Okay.
Brad Minnick, Premier Engineers. I had visited the site after the last meeting and discussed it with Skylar York. And we came to the conclusion that there's potential there. I think I'd say they would be hindered by short-term construction, right? If we were to add anything to it right now, it would hinder what his future plans are for the site. So
Okay.
best to leave it as is, with appreciation to the landowner that's helping clean up the trash and so forth.
So should we remove this at this time from our pending items list or leave it on?
Remove it, please.
Okay, all right, then I need a motion.
I make a motion to remove.
Support?
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. The next item is Michael Vincent, Vice President, brought to our attention the damaged guardrails on Current Road. Has there anything been done about this?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Then why don't we just leave this on for the next meeting? Okay. The next item on the agenda is Carrie McGinty, 225 Charles Street, requesting to purchase the property owned by the city of Michigan City, located behind her property at 932 West 6th Street. And this is on here because we're having a difficult time getting a legal description. Has anything been done?
Well, I reached out to the real estate myself, and the answer I got referred it back to what they gave Sue. So I need Sue's assistance to help me work through this. You would think this should be so easy, right? It's not. So I'm still working on it.
Okay, all right, we'll just leave it there. Okay, and the last item is, has already been covered. This was the matter that was brought before us from Don Prespolinski, councilman, that requested the signage on Ohio and Tilden, and we'll pass that right now, and we're into the repair station.
Yes, and
We ought to
I
just-
will hope, I will have an estimated completion date at our next meeting.
Did you
If
want
it's
to
not
leave
done
this
already.
on the?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right, then we'll leave it on there. Okay, and moving on then, public comment. I'm going to ask for public comment.
Did you want to remove the request from Don Prespolinski about CSI?
That's what I just did.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
leave it on.
Oh, leave it on. Okay.
We've got a request for a vendor's license. Van Keone's doing business as Backyard Butchers LLC is requesting a vendor's license to sell frozen and prepared steak, chicken, and seafood from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Lighthouse Place from the freight truck that he has, refrigerated, I would hope.
Yes.
Is there, anyone here to address this?
I'm here. I'm on Zoom. I'm on Zoom. Can y'all hear me?
Okay, go ahead. Give your name and address.
Sure. Name is Ivan Quinones, 1845 Kinley Way, Alvin, Texas. We're a Texas-based company, but we're launching an online butcher shop here in the next couple of weeks. And we've been traveling the country promoting the brand so that when we go live, the different communities across the country are already confident in the quality of product that we have. And we want to come to your community agreement with the property owners, Simon Property Group, and they have also agreed to a few parking spaces where we set up a small 10 feet by 10 feet canopy. We'd also have a refrigerated truck there next to it to make sure the product integrity is 100%. And yeah, we're going to just be a lot of radio advertising, a lot of Facebook advertising, so that we hopefully get your community out and see the product in person. We will have product on hand, so we would like the opportunity to sell that product. But really the goal is grow our brand so that when we go live here in a couple of weeks, hopefully we have subscriptions coming from your community.
Thank you. Amber, have you looked at this?
The paperwork appears to be in order.
I didn't hear what Ms. LePage said.
The paperwork appears to be in order.
Any board comments?
Where is this truck going to be placed at?
Lighthouse Place?
Correct.
Have you been in contact with Lighthouse Place so that they're going to consider you a good neighbor and you're going to consider them a good neighbor?
Yes, we have an executed lease agreement.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Vincent, do you have any questions?
Who is going to be with the truck in the tent? Is that going to be an employee of Backyard Butchers, or are you contracting this out?
That's going to be one of our employees, yes, sir.
And he'll be there on full-time basis?
Yes, sir, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And since we are a mall tenant, we'll have whatever security they provide. They'll be able to provide our system security as well.
Okay, any other questions? Any comments from the public? Then do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the license for 6 months.
Can we do that?
That's what's checked on.
Okay.
That's how good that's the
Yeah.
requirement under our ordinance.
Okay. I'll support that.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
the chair votes aye as well. The next item on the agenda, Terry, is the vendor agreement and request. Terry Greetham, Special Event Director, is requesting approval of a contract between the City of Michigan City Burnt Goods as farmers market vendor for the 2022 farmers market every Saturday from May 7th through October 29th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Yes, Terry Greetham, Director of Special Events. This is a new vendor and they will participate on selected Saturdays. I believe they have a total of 10 Saturdays they will participate.
Thank you. Is there any board questions?
None.
Then I'll entertain motion.
The amount, it's for half amount on when I write the
No,
letter.
actually, I'm sorry. The amount will be $15 per day is what they will pay. So they'll pay, there's a total of 10 days. So it's $15 each time.
Talk after the meeting.
Pardon?
We'll talk after.
Yes,
the meeting.
yes.
And do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
And second.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. Are there any board comments today?
None here.
Well, I'd like to thank Drew and Caleb and his team for hooking up the Zoom for me today so I could attend. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, public comment? We have public comment. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there.
That's okay. Fine. Quiet. My name is Kathy Stransky, and I live on East Parker Ave. Been on that block 64 years. In the past 6 months, we have had 2 shootings behind my house. Both times it was the same victim. Both times it rattled that whole neighborhood. I've got 2 neighbors that have been gone since that happened that haven't come back to their house yet. Where do we go? What do we do? How do we get protection for our neighborhood? It's scary to
I know
be
it.
sitting in your kitchen and eating your snack before you go to bed, and you have to yell to your husband, there's a shot. And we have to go into a place where there's no doors or windows or anything till we can hear the police are there. It's scary.
That's dreadful. That's dreadful. Have you met with the Chief Campbell?
Not yet. No, I have not. But I just don't know where to turn to. I don't know who's going to help us.
Well, Ms. Stransky, Sergeant will discuss it with you right after the meeting.
Okay.
Sergeant Forker, he'll respond. They'll take care of it.
They'll
Okay.
take it very seriously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Anything further? Anybody else? Go ahead.
Hi, Terry Greetham, Director of Special Events. Just wanted to remind everyone, I know we've gone through a lot of contracts and everything, but this is the last Board of Works meeting before the Singing Sand Sculpting Festival. So I just wanted to remind everybody that the Singing Sand Sculpting Festival will be held June 3rd through the 5th in Washington Park. The hours are Friday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. We have 6 master sculptors, 9 semi-professional sculptors. We also have an amateur competition that anyone can come and sign up. They buy a ticket, they come in, and they can sign up for the amateur competition. We have live music all day and night, food vendors, craft vendors. We have sand sculpting demonstrations, sand sculpting shows. Tickets will be available at the gate. A single day admission is $8. The 3-day admission is $18. But if you are a Michigan City resident, your single day admission is $5 and your 3-day pass is $12. For more information, you can go to emichigancity.com and click on special events or go to our Facebook page, Michigan City Special Events. Thanks.
Anything else from the board? Hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Alderman Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,